welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher.
So let's jump right into it.
We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is going on YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and welcome back to another video. Today we're talking Wolverine, and we're talking the top 5 books relating to Wolverine that I'd add to my collection. But before we get started in this video, guys, like always, I'm going to ask you, if you're not a current subscriber of the channel and have been enjoying some of my content, do me a favor, go ahead and click the subscribe button for me. I also want you to smash that like button on the way out because it does help the channel out, and turn on the notification bell because it lets you guys know when I post new videos. And if you haven't checked out my website, mightycollects.com, I just recently added some new books up for sale if you're so inclined. But with that said, we're talking Wolverine, and we're talking the top 5 books that I'd be buying if I was a Wolverine fan out there. Now, I did Doctor Doom last week, so if you haven't checked out that video, make sure you check that one out. But how could you start off this list without having the #1 book on it? It is a copy of Incredible Hulk number 181 and the first full appearance of Wolverine. And right now, September, you can go out and get a 5.0 copy of this book for $4,569. That was the last sale in August of this year. With that said, whenever I talk about this book, I talk about the number of copies that are out there. If you go on eBay right now, there are so many copies for sale, and it's driving down the price of this book. While I don't think it's the greatest time to go ahead and buy a Hulk 181 right now in this market, I do think if you're a staunch Wolverine fan, you got to own this book #1 over anything else, because this is his first full appearance, and this cover is absolutely amazing. But again, a book I always want #1 when relating to this character. At number 2 on this list is a copy of Giant Size X-Men #1 and the second appearance of Wolverine, but also, moreover, the first full appearance of the new X-Men team. And right now, you can go out and get a CGC 7.0 for $3,880. That was the last sale just this past August. What I love about this book is that it is really scarce in high grade because of that square bound fact, and the fact that it's a beautiful, crispy white cover. It doesn't get better than this. To me, I almost think this might be a better buy right now in this market because of that fact, and because that Hulk 181, there are so many copies out there, and there's so few that people want to spend a ton of money on right now. But either way, this is number 2 on my list of the books that I want to own relating to Wolverine. At number 3 on my list is a copy of Incredible Hulk number 180 and the first cameo appearance of Wolverine. And right now, you can go on and get a CGC 5.0 for only $881, and that was the last sale just this past August. You got to be careful when we're talking about cameo versus full appearance. There are a lot of people out there that saying that this is the true first appearance of Wolverine, with him appearing on that back splash page. But I got to be honest, when you're looking at that 181 and you see that cover, the beautiful thing, him and the Hulk going at it, how could you not go ahead and buy that book over this one? To me, it's a no-brainer. But when we're talking about cameo appearances or even second or third appearances, you do have to be worried about overspending on this book. I will say this, being that this book and a fine range that's under $1,000 is pretty good deal. If you're going to go ahead and buy a Wolverine book and you can't go on and get the first true full appearance, this is my third best option. At number 4 on my list is a copy of Incredible Hulk number 182 and the third appearance of Wolverine. And right now, you can go and get a CGC 5.0 as well for $215, and that was also the last sale back in August. I used to see this book being really overpriced, and it's still, to this day, still very expensive for a third appearance, and I'm not paying anywhere near that amount for this book. But I've got to be honest, for $200 for a 5.0 is not that bad right now. I actually would take that money and go ahead and grab them, but anytime I see books at a con, at a show, possibly even an LCS, they're priced way higher than that. So I'm glad to see this book has started to come down a little bit, but either way, if I'm going to stick to one of these books, I want the first appearance. Hell, I'll even settle for the cameo before I do for the third appearance. And at the number 5 spot, guys, is a copy of Wolverine #1, the limited series by Frank Miller, and a CGC 9.8 right now will run you $687. And of course, that last sale was also just this past August. When we're talking about this book, we're talking about the cover, and that what is so special about this book. I went back and forth talking about what I wanted to add at the 5 spot on this list, and this is the one I went to. When we first got that comic boom, this book shot up like crazy, and I could only think is because a lot of people out there couldn't go ahead and buy some of the top tier Wolverine books that were out there, like the 181 or 180. So this is the book that they flocked to. But I gotta be honest, I'm not spending anywhere near huge amounts of money on this book no matter what. Even at a 9.8, we're talking about almost $700 for this book. I'd just rather take that $700 and put it towards a Hulk 181 or even a Hulk 180. I think that's a better buy no matter what, because there are also a lot of copies out there of this one. But it's an awesome cover. I remember when I had this book maybe about a few years back, I had a Frank Miller signed copy, CGC yellow label, and I think I picked it up for like $100 and something bucks. It was worth it at that price, but not for almost $700, even though it is a 9.8. All right, guys, that's my 5 Wolverine books that I'd be buying in this market right now if I was a staunch Wolverine fan. Anytime you can get a first appearance, I always think that's the better buy. I know I said there's a ton of copies out there, but you have to get them for the right price. That is key. I'd be holding off buying any Wolverine stuff right now. Even though we all know he's coming to the MCU, I just don't want to spend the money on this character because everybody knows he's coming. Everybody has been buying this book for the better part of a year and a half. So to each his own. Be careful out there right now if you're going to pick up any of these books. But again, for the long term, I love all of these books. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.